Welcome to Roguecast, the official podcast of Rogues Gallery. We'll talk comics for the week, as well as whatever news is on our pop cultural radar. I'm Randy.
I'm Nick.
This is Dave.
And now, on with the show.
All right, welcome to the Roguecast. We have a big week of comics to talk about.
True. Yes.
And a big Marvel TV show that we're going to talk about a little later.
That's true. We struggled to get the comics up on the wall this week.
It was a lot. A lot. And also, there's a pretty notable graphic novel this week, which is Absolute Batman Volume 2.
It's true. Right.
We have
hardcover
a lot.
and softcover.
Hardcover and softcover. There is a bunch of those, which I hope means Absolute Batman Volume 1 is coming back to the pipeline, too.
You would think so.
I believe it is showing as coming back in soon. So.
Good.
But, first of all, let's talk about the other big thing that we've been doing this week, which is the clearance sale.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So,
not just any clearance sale.
Nick and Jeanette and I spent the better part of 3 days.
It's true.
Pulling about 1,200 items off our shelves.
It's crazy.
We have 4 tables in the back of the store. They are full of graphic novels and some role-playing games and some board games. And there's a lot of good stuff on this table, and it's all 50% off.
Yeah. Basically,
if you don't know, I think we talked about this before, the clearance sale is if something doesn't sell after 2 years, it gets put on clearance because the way the taxes work, we wind up paying double for a thing if we keep it for too long. Yeah. So if something doesn't sell, even no matter if it's great, no matter if we love it, it goes on the clearance sale.
And every year there are things that we're like, how can this be on the clearance sale? We love this to pieces, but for whatever reason, it's just not its right time.
Right.
Or
there's a new format, or it's an orphan volume 3 or 6 or whatever.
Yep.
But there's a lot of good stuff on there. 50% off. You can now.
I believe it is our largest.
It is our largest clearance sale ever. You can also go to the website, and you will find a clearance sale section where you can peruse everything that is on the tables.
Yep.
So you can look and see before you come in. If you want to spend some time at night while we're closed, looking and see what's on there, and come and pick it up, you can.
It's true.
As with all things clearance, though, once they're gone, they're gone. So if you see something, pick it up while you can.
Yep.
It's also worth noting, in Friday, February 27th, we will be doing our 2026 Pokemon Day.
Yes.
This is Serena's baby, but basically, this is a 16 and under. It is not for the grown-ups. Sorry, grown-ups with the Pokemon. We are also grown-ups with the Pokemon. But this is for the kids to come in, draw their own Pokemon, get stickers and some fun prizes, and we'll have some loose cards to give away. We probably won't have any packs to sell, because that's the way Pokemon works now.
Yeah.
But come in and celebrate Pikachu's birthday, right? That's what it is?
That's right.
Or it might be...
the Ascendancy of Psyduck?
Mewtwo's Quinceanera. So that'll be going on as well. And also we did get the dates out for Free Comic Book Day and Free RPG Day, which are May and June as always. We're starting to see the books coming out. Looks like a bunch of good books. Don't be confused that Penguin Random House, which distributes a lot of people, Marvel, IDW, Dark Horse, they are calling it Comics Giveaway Day, because they don't own Free Comic Book Day, and therefore they're trying to
rebrand it.
Don't worry about that. It's Free Comic Book Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is also Comic Giveaway Day, which is the same thing. It feels like somebody said it feels like the Temu off-brand version of Free Comic Book Day.
But if that's the way that they're going to brand all future things, we may have to switch to it.
No, because half of it is still Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, is it?
Yes. The ones from Lunar.
The ones from Lunar are all Free Comic Book Day.
What if I started calling it Comics Liberation Day?
Now we could make a third force. We could absolutely do that. Welcome to Rose Gallery Comics, Games, and Liberation.
That's right. Free this comic from our control of it. Take it.
Viva la...
Viva la Comics.
Yeah.
Viva la Revolucion de la Comics. So anyway, we have a few games came in this week. Suro 20th Anniversary Edition.
Suro is a game spelled Tsuro that we've had for like 15 years or something.
20 apparently.
20 years. Yep. Or 20, you said it's an
20th Anniversary Edition. Yep.
It is like in some ways one of the simplest games we have, and it's just a really neat, well executed game where you have a board with kind of these a sort of a grid on it, and you place down tiles that create little paths and tracks.
Yep.
And you're although you're putting down these very beautifully colored stones to represent your character, they're meant to be dragons in flight, fighting each other and warding each other off. But in practice, what you're doing is you're creating paths to. If you go off the edge of the board, you lose the game. That's as simple as that. So you put down tiles that wind these roads around that keep you on the board, and you try and simultaneously get your opponent to go flying off.
Right. Or if the dragons crash into you, they also die. So you want to pass through each other.
This is a very easy, like something kind of different and cool looking to like that. I would say is really good to get a young board gamer
For
into.
sure.
Or if you're just looking for one of those kind of lighter between games, like a game with cool production values, but something that you can play in 10 minutes, 10, 15
Pretty
minutes.
quick, yeah. It's a quick game. It's a fun game. It's easy to explain.
And I have
it's
to
very pretty.
I have to imagine this anniversary edition. There is some.
I'm sure it's pretty.
Beautified.
It's pretty.
Yeah. It already looked nice.
It's been leveled up.
Did.
Yep.
And then we also got the Planet of the Apes RPG.
Yep.
There is a core rulebook, and there's something called the ANSA sourcebook, which is I don't know why it's called ANSA. I don't know what that means. Oh,
Apes
and ANSA files.
Maybe that's something in there. If it is from the lore, I don't remember.
So the core game is all the rules. The ANSA sourcebook is basically the 5 original Planet of the Apes movies translated for game. So it's like it's an overview of the movies.
Yep.
But then all the characters and weapons and settings and all that stuff. So Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, and Battle of the Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
The original 5 movies.
Yep. When I saw them, the thing that shocked me about them, and I did this 10, 15 years ago because I had not really watched them except the first one, is that the continuity is actually super tight on it. With time travel, that's a closed loop, and eventually you see the entire, what would be dramatized in the newer movies, the initial plague that kills off a bunch of pets and makes the apes popular in people's homes, and then they get super intelligent. So it shows all that, but there's also all this dystopian, post-apocalypse sci-fi that's the other side of the series. Anyway, I have a fondness for it, and I was flipping through this, and it the art and all that looks very cool in it. It looks like they did justice to it.
Nice.
Does it? Do you know? It sounds like it is exclusively focused on the classic movies.
It is exclusively focused on the classic movies, and it uses this. By the way, uses a variant of the classic D6 role-playing game system the West End created for Star Wars.
That's wild.
A beloved system.
I wasn't aware that was being used by anybody
I
anymore,
didn't either.
But I do know that people talk about it with longing in their eyes when it comes to the Star Wars game. So
Little hearts.
There are apparently 24 character classes.
Interesting.
I don't know what they could possibly be, but there you go.
I mean, does that mean you could be an ape farmer or
an ape farmer as in an ape who farms, or someone who farms apes?
They would be just ape farmers because they're in control. You wouldn't be farming them. They'd be farming humans.
Do apes farm other apes?
No, they farm
Not if they wish to obey the rules of the lawgiver.
Ape does not farm ape.
That's correct.
Yes, okay.
Ape farms human.
That's right. Apes farm humans.
Apes do farm humans, yes. There'll be another...
It's as true now as it was when my grandfather used to say that.
This will not be the last time we talk about Planet of the Apes.
No, weirdly not.
Yeah. It's
Ape Week.
It's Ape Week. It's like Shark Week, but very different. All right, let's get into comics because there are a lot of them. First up, there's the thing we've been looking forward to since it was announced: DCKO Boss Battle.
Yep.
This is a one-shot wherein
the sort of wildest entry in DC's KO thing.
yes, in order to charge up some power, they call in reserves from other universes, and that means Mortal Kombat, Red Sonja, Vampirella, Homelander, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Annabelle from the
Annabelle series or the Conjuring series.
and a dangerous killer bear.
Yes,
True.
named Samantha.
Yes.
That you may know from our very popular seller, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees.
So yeah, this is a throwdown between these characters, and
It's like Superman versus Homelander, Lex Luthor versus Samantha the serial killer bear,
Yep. Joker versus Annabelle.
Plastic Man and Black Lightning versus Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
Yep.
It's pretty wild. It's fun, and it's a shock that this thing even exists.
Yes, it is.
Sure.
Yeah. We also got the Superman Chains of Love #1.
I missed reading this, but I really wanted to because I saw Dan Slott talking about it a few months ago. And concept-wise, it takes sort of the two shock jocks of Metropolis, Livewire, with the super villainous shock jock, with actual shock powers.
Yep.
And Jack Ryder, the Creeper, and it looks like they're hooking up. But
it's a love story, but there's some complications to it because Jack Ryder. I don't want to give too much away, but Jack Ryder is influenced by the Creeper's thoughts. He just doesn't know why.
Yeah.
So he's been obsessed with her and talking about it on the radio, but he hates her.
Oh, interesting.
And he's been talking smack on her, and she doesn't know the Creeper is. So she and the Creeper are like getting together and have a lot in common. But meanwhile, his alter ego has been talking shit about her this whole time.
This is a weird flip of like the Superman Lois Clark triangle almost.
Yeah.
Like
I think you're right. I think
Lois used to be like, Clark, you're such a sniveling little wimp, and why can't you be more like Superman and all that stuff? But it sounds like it's like a spin on that.
It's a wild sort of super villainy get together kind of thing. Anti-heroes, I guess.
Which I'm told that this is the interesting thing that Slott said at the time when he was talking about this was that there will be interesting repercussions coming up. That it's not just like a sort of throwaway fun special.
Right.
It is going to be core to Superman lore for the next year.
Well, and it's not written by Slott. The lead story is written by Leah Williams and art's by Iguara.
And Slott has a backup story.
The art's really good, and Slott has a backup story set on Bizarro World that is a super fun Bizarro story.
That's cool.
Yeah. This is a really fun issue. I liked it quite a bit.
Cool.
I've been liking Dan Slott's Superman Unlimited.
Yep.
And I thought this was a fun story. I would recommend it. Anybody who's reading Superman Unlimited should probably pick this one up. For the wrestling fans among you, which counts none of us in this room,
That's true.
Yeah.
DC times AEW by writer Steve Orlando pits the DC characters against AEW wrestlers. That probably means something to you. It doesn't mean anything to me.
I understand that they are. There's some sort of cosmic event, almost their, Infinity Gauntlet or something like that. That I don't know why the wrestlers are particularly involved, but it must have something to do with them. And I think remember when they did what was the DC fighting game?
Mortal Kombat.
The DC one.
Injustice.
Yes.
You know how like the normal human types had some kind of nanite thing that they took that supercharged them?
Yes.
I wonder if something like that happens in this, so you have wrestlers on the level of heroes.
I was going to say, because if not, the wrestlers are dead.
It's like, Black Adam just killed everybody.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think so. I think there will probably be a good time of seeing these characters team up and kind of on similar playing fields.
Then we've got Godzilla Infinity Roar. This is the...
Not Infinity War.
Infinity Roar.
Infinity Roar.
This is the Spaceborne sequel to Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, which was a really fun miniseries by Jerry Dugan and possibly Javier Guerrero. I think it's the same artist on this one. But basically, Null has taken control of Godzilla and is sending him to soften up planets for him.
Because even he cannot control the powers of
He
Godzilla.
can't fully control Godzilla.
That's fun.
And so Godzilla is being faced down by an assembly of various, the Shi'ar, the Skrulls, and a team of Marvel superheroes is chasing him down because they chased him off of Earth, and now they feel responsible.
Yep.
I like it. So it's a Marvel Cosmic by Godzilla by way of Marvel Cosmic.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. It's great fun. The teasers at the end of it for what's going to happen next issue, super fun. I really have liked what Dugan has done with the Godzilla versus Marvel stuff, and this is just a blast.
It is. I really enjoyed it.
We talked about this off mic earlier, how with like the Marvel's Predator superhero crossovers, that their lore built upon each other in fun ways. That Kraven impressed the Predators in one of the miniseries, and next in the Marvel Predator Kills the Marvel Universe, he's like leading the Predator crew and stuff with their armor and all that.
Yep.
And this is the Godzillas have also been building on each other.
Yeah.
Like they're all standalone too, but
Godzilla's miniseries now at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah. But the one shots actually aren't in continuity with this. Weirdly with Godzilla, the one shots of Godzilla were all like different times and stuff.
Oh, right.
But the Godzilla versus Marvel that they did ties into
That's
this.
part of the lore. Yeah, it seems like they're starting to do kind of what they did with the Predator thing.
Yeah. We also have, speaking of crossovers, Planet of the Apes versus Fantastic Four. This is a weird one, y'all.
Yeah, I was not looking forward to this, but then I ended up liking it quite a bit.
I did too, and I'm not as big of a Planet of the Apes fan as you are.
It's very like, it seems like it could be a good fit because the FF are explorers, and they're both kind of icons of the 60s, where the FF really fit well in the 60s, and Planet of the Apes was such a 60s movie originally. But I was always like, I would have thought, well, wait, aren't they like the FF power level is way beyond the apes just use guns and stuff like that.
Yep.
But this, just to tell you how it begins with the FF on trial, and our uniforms are kind of in tatters, and you don't quite know what's happened yet, but it's clear they've lost their powers, and the Thing has reverted back to human Ben Grimm form.
Yep.
And it's like that kangaroo court that you see in the original movie. But during the course of this trial, it'll kind of come out exactly what happened to them. And I think we can say that it had something to do with on Earth, Red Ghost and his super apes.
Yeah, that was the thing I really liked. That's very clever to tie them into their classic foe.
Yeah.
This is by a writer named Josh Trujillo, who I don't recognize, but really thought he nailed it.
Yeah,
really well.
and there's a very
Andrew
fun
Vito.
there's a very fun twist that occurs.
The art is by Andrea DeVito.
Really good.
It's really nice. I will be keeping up on this. It's
It blends two properties that I didn't ever think we would see together, and does it in a way that tells a really interesting story.
I am surprised because I didn't think I'd be that into this, but it's really good, and it's a miniseries. I think it's probably 4 issues.
Yeah,
4 or
something
5.
like that. Yeah.
2 of the Shadows of Tomorrow, the X-Men reboot. We have Magic and Colossus.
Yep.
This is by the creative team of the Magic book, Ashley Allen and German Peralta. Which
interesting. So it's just in some ways a continuation of that creative
kind of like
thing.
how Scarlet Witch keeps sort of rebooting with Steve Orlando and his creative team.
Yep.
This is that kind of thing, but it brings in Colossus and their brother-sister relationship and some supernatural threats. It's an interesting first issue, and I like both those characters.
They're such different characters. Peter was always like sort of the sensitive soul, and Ilyana became kind of the mean girl.
Yeah.
The supernatural mean girl.
Yeah.
Now, both of them have been through stuff, and that's not all they are. And, occasionally Peter breaks somebody's neck to show that he has been pushed too far.
Sometimes he does.
Make peace with your God's little man. You're next.
And then we've got Storm, Earth's Mightiest Mutant, which is a continuation of the previous Storm series.
Yeah, the cosmic Storm.
Big cosmic adventures. Yeah, she's definitely they're on the side of she's the most powerful mutant in the MCU, which I don't know about that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Image has a new book called Dork. That's half dwarf, half orc.
Yep.
D'_ORC.
If you like I Hate Fairyland, I suggest trying this out.
It's written and drawn by Brett Bean, a guy we really like from Marvel Snap.
Yep.
It's very appealing cartooning. It does remind me of Scotty Young.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah.
But it is about an orc that may or may not bring about the end of the world.
There's a fun prophecy on both the light and the dark side that his orcish side will destroy everything, and the dark side, or like the dwarvish side of him, will ruin everything for evil. So everybody's out to get him.
And he has a possessed shield that is out for murderous blood.
Yes, he has a murderous shield.
Is that a big eyeball on it?
It is.
Yeah, it's inhabited
sentient,
by something.
It looks kind of cool.
It does. It's a ton of fun, very action packed. I really
the
dug
titling
this.
on it, I think, does prepare you for the fact that it's kind of goofy.
Yeah.
It's very
like
goofy.
RoboCop. It reads half dwarf, half orc, all dork.
It is very goofy, but it is very entertaining.
Yeah. Nice.
Sentence I never expected to say, this week we have Jason Aaron's Thundar the Barbarian.
Yeah,
It's not so weird in the world we've been living in,
Yep.
and Jason Aaron's been doing very good with these licensed
TMNT
properties.
and that kind of stuff.
We talked off mic and pointed out, none of us have a particular, fondness for Thundar.
No.
It's not dislike or anything. I think it was just wasn't a particular groove for any of us. My main memory of Thundar is it has a very boss opening.
Yeah.
Really cool opening, which they show in this.
Yeah.
And they do... I think actually Jason Aaron does do his usual good job of there's good world building in this.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And there's you kind of get a sense of jumping into this a little bit in media res, where there is a backstory of something that Thundar is keeping secret from his compatriots, and there's some kind of cool lore. It definitely uses characters from the show. And the artist, I think, is up to depicting the
artist is really good, and the action sequences are good. They're different races and bits of technology and all this kind of stuff. He's built a really interesting post-apocalyptic world.
I feel like it's pushed a little into the PG-13 realm,
I agree.
but not too far.
Yeah.
It's not like grimdark or anything like that.
It's not like he's doing Blood
Right.
Wars here.
But I think a few people may die, but it's kind of all. it's a little bit. The violence is a little bit off to the side, but it does have a little bit of edge.
It does.
Like Aaron's definitely not quite going as squeaky clean as the cartoon relatively was.
Also has a phenomenal cover by Michael Cho.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
great.
Cho.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then we've got Archie times the Army of Darkness, another Dynamite book.
This is times, or do you just say X?
It's X. They don't just say verses anymore. It's like X, the Army of Darkness.
That's like anime style or manga.
Is it?
But I don't know how you say it in those.
It says
either.
Archie X, the Army of Darkness. I say times. I don't know. You multiply Archie by the Army of Darkness, and then you
get a bunch of
divide by
chocolate malt deadites.
Yes. This
You told me that Archie is working for S-Mart.
Yes.
This starts out. They're at Reggie's isolated cabin.
Okay.
Which I believe turns out to be the cabin where the Evil Dead were in the first place.
Yep.
And they find the Necronomicon in the basement, and Archie reads it. And then Deadites start appearing, and then they cut away to a few weeks ago or something like that, where he is working at S-Mart, working alongside Ash.
Is it meant to be like Elder Ash or Ash from
No,
back in the
he's
day?
classic Ash.
This is Ash right after
Army of Darkness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They even do a small recap of Army of Darkness.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty great.
It's really fun. I definitely am going to keep up with this.
That's very fun. We are truly in an era of a wealth of ridiculous crossovers.
Yep.
Yes.
Night City, that's Knight, is a new book from Dark Horse from Matt Kint and David Lapham. And
David Lapham's drawing it.
Yep. This is another one of those sort of weird ones. It starts off looking like a riff on Superman and Lex Luthor. Right? There's a guy who basically he beats up Luthor. He maybe almost goes too far. Then he talks to his Lois Lane analog. But there's a reality shift kind of thing going on there too, where it's like not sure what's real and what's fake. If you've read Matt Kent stuff, you know that he likes to do these sort of superhero pastiche with like a little
homage, but there is some subversion.
Yeah, and a little more of an indie vibe to it.
Yeah.
I really dug this first issue. I don't know how to exactly explain it without giving stuff away, but it's worth a read if you like that kind of stuff.
And I think we had talked up a little bit like his Space Scouts recently and some of his other projects.
And Space Scouts was wrapped this week.
Is a sort of another analog where he was doing Legion of Superheroes, but also kind of with a little bit of a battle royale element and some other stuff. So I think people who like those kind of indie comics, like whether like Invincible or what's the other one on the end cap? The Massive Verse. What's
Radiant
that?
Black.
Radiant Black. Yeah, they might want to check this out.
There's another couple books from Ignition Press, one of which is a one-shot, one of which is a new miniseries from Cullen Bunn. Ripcord.
Yep.
Nick, did you read this one?
I did. It's sort of about a drug that has kind of taken over the world, caused kind of post-apocalyptic. It's called Ripcord. It turns people into violent, murderous people.
Okay.
And about a woman who lost a sister.
Do you take it in order to become violent and murderous?
I think it just...
Or
like
you're like,
after
oh, I'm
effect.
really enjoying this, now I'm violent and murderous.
I don't know. We have not quite 100% seen.
Fair enough.
But this sort of starts in the Australian outback with a sister, or a woman looking for her lost sister.
Okay.
And coming afoul of a few things that this new world offers.
That's a Cullen Bunn there?
Yeah.
He's always got a good yarn to spin.
And the art in this done by, I'm not going to be able to say this person, it's Aneke, Anek, or Aneke.
Yeah.
Is phenomenal. Really, really good artwork.
Okay.
And then they have Love Ignited, which is their Valentine's horror one-shot
special. Yep.
Y'all read this, right?
I read some of that. So the opening story is a grabber with the art by Danny, that lady who kind of works in sort of a Sin City style, although it's always in color. It's very beautiful color. It kind of almost looks like 300. And it is a story about sort of the strange courtship between a harpy and a siren.
Yeah.
In ancient Greece, who are both talking. The harpy is like, when I kill sailors, they're in terror of me. And the siren's like, I bring down whole ships. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm much better at doing this. So it almost begins as a contest between the two of them. As to who can kill the most sailors, and that's their weird courtship. It's very well done. I think it's good, and there's other ones in there that are like kind of a spooky hitchhiker story. There's a sci-fi story with people seemingly on kind of distant space stations who can communicate with each other, but are like, thousands of light years apart, but have a connection. So yeah, I would say most of these are kind of darker love stories. But there's at least a few that are kind of weird and sincere. There's one that's set in like one of those kind of 50s, and it's sort of a Susie Homemaker type woman, and it's drawn in this really amazing style that's meant to look kind of quaint, almost like you would have on like some kind of like artwork from the 50s era. But that is about like a little secret sapphic tryst while a husband is off doing his door-to-door salesman thing.
There's the last story is actually
which is the one I haven't read.
It's really good. I just kind of looked through it. It's Patrick Horvath who writes Beneath the Trees,
where nobody sees.
He writes it. Art is by Morgan Beam, who did the Twilight Zone first issue.
Yeah.
And,
it was really good.
He's a really good artist.
Me a bit of his style.
Yeah.
On Beneath the Trees,
but it's another very satisfying horror.
Nice.
It's about a guy who is making romantic suicide pacts, and he's backing out at the last minute, so he's killed like 6 women.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
If you're looking for the off the beaten path, not a swoony, sincere one, this could be up your alley.
Yeah. We've also got something called Drumsticks of Doom, which is in a bag, so we can't read it.
Right.
But it is about some kind of like rock and roll drummer person?
Yeah, I guess.
It wasn't about drumsticks from KFC.
No.
I could tell that from looking.
And then we've got Gargoyles Darkwing Duck #1. Just a couple of those, but
that is a weird one. Darkwing Duck is so goofy, and Gargoyles is relatively serious as these things go. But I guess the Gargoyles are going to have to learn to live with this doofy duck.
And then worth mentioning this week, there's a bunch of some of our favorite stuff gets published this week. Batman has a new issue, #6. This is absolutely my favorite book running right now.
It is. I do find every issue kind of is satisfying in some different way than the last one.
I don't want to give it away, but the resolution of the last cliffhanger, how that resolved was an unexpected and kind of fun thing.
Yep.
And every issue, is something slightly
There's
different.
There's an interesting emotional beat in this one that has to do with Robin. In it.
That was a great scene.
That was really good.
Is it Tim Drake?
Tim Drake.
Yeah. Really interesting. And it really kind of highlights one of those reasons why I like the sort of philosophy of this book.
Yeah.
There's a great scene with Bullock.
Yep. Who is now a private eye, which I love.
Yeah, it's a good turn for that character.
Jorge Jimenez continues to kill it on art.
Yeah,
just really, really excellent.
Who would have thought that a story that would feel like kind of, even though it's like superhero action adventure, there'd be some sort of relevance to filming a corrupt cop kind of thing.
Yeah, it never happens. Absolute Superman pits Superman against the Absolute Hawkman, who we first saw in Absolute Evil.
This is a weirdly good issue. I missed a few issues.
This.
And I randomly read this one, just as I randomly read the previous one, because I knew it was kind of a standalone. We've seen that Hawkman is not to be trifled with.
Right.
He has killed other heroes.
Yep.
You saw this in, what do they call that? Absolute Evil.
Yes.
And, but he is not just some flunky or idiot.
No,
he comes to talk to Superman in this.
The cover would imply that it's a big throwdown. It is actually not.
Although there is some of that.
There's some fighting, but mostly they're talking about their sort of different philosophies. It's really interesting.
It's very interesting because Superman, I think, doesn't realize, Hawkman is kind of telling him, he's like, you're going about this in a really stupid way.
Yeah.
And he's like, not only that, you don't really know how to fight well.
Yeah.
And he's like, here's what I do, and it's kind of scary. It's like talking to somebody from the CIA.
Yeah.
And you can tell this guy is serious business. And Superman doesn't quite get how serious it is until a certain point gets reached.
Yeah.
But yes, very good issue.
Is Juan Ferreira the regular artist on this book? Because
He's become.
Okay, because it looks a little different. I really like it, the art.
Yeah, it's kind of got a neat painted look to it.
Absolute Green Lantern is also this week. Continues to be weird. I
saw a Tomar Ray type alien.
There's a Tomar Ray, but all of the aliens are different parts of the spectrum, actually.
Part of
Tomari is like the Red Lantern.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So yeah, we're seeing little bits and pieces of.
Right.
So they're doing the Lantern.
It is a wholesale rethink of the Green Lantern. Or the Lantern lore.
It's much more sort of horror sci-fi-ish version of it. It's definitely they're doing sort of Green Lantern as sort of cosmic horror.
Yeah. It's a neat idea.
Yeah, I really like it. We've got Batman Night Fight number 4, which I thought this ended really well.
Right?
It stuck the landing.
Yeah, really good finale.
While feeding into DCKO.
Yeah, but also like not what you expect from Batman, where you expect to be sort of dark and gritty.
Right.
This is in kind of the same way that Batman is giving us a humanistic version of it. This is a very more humanistic version of Batman.
I like that. We kind of knew going into KO that it seemed like an event where they didn't want to grimdark it.
Yeah.
Like, there's some dark turns in it occasionally, but they didn't want that to be the overall tone. And I appreciate that is the case. And yet, they're like, we're going to have some Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat fun.
And yet again, Dan Mora
Dan Mora's art's great. Yeah. The Penultimate Avengers by Jed MacKay. Another issue of Jed MacKay's Nova Centurion, which I know Dave and I both enjoyed.
Yeah, super fun issue.
Second issue of, it's issue 15, but the second issue of the Shadows of Tomorrow launch of or Saladin Ahmed's Wolverine, which puts him up against a new Alpha Flight.
You were telling me about this, and it sounded kind of cool.
He's working alongside Silver Sable to protect a group of Morlocks who are trying to build a life in the Canadian wilderness, and a sort of corrupted Alpha Flight comes after them.
Right, like the government is kind of like trying to, which they were doing last time we saw Alpha Flight too.
Yeah.
The heroes were trying to do all the right things, but they're sort of being coerced and almost even blackmailed into some of this stuff. That actually sounds really good. I like the idea of like a Morlock sort of sect taking refuge in Canada. Makes sense.
And then Ultimate Endgame number 2 comes out this week.
Yep.
And the final issue of the first run of Twilight Zone comics by Nate Powell. Really nice art. They got a lot of good artists for that. Did I miss anything single issue wise?
I just wanted to mention Gail's Uncanny X-Men, Gail Simone's, starts a new arc, which is a sort of monster-centric. There's, that is to say, it's involving sort of the Marvel monsters, like, without saying too much, Werewolf by Night and some of those other types of characters are showing up for reasons that are as yet somewhat mysterious.
Yep.
But also, there's a thing that happens in this where the team finds themselves fighting Gambit. And Gambit is pretty badass in it. He's like... I think it's an interesting, reminder that he can be dangerous.
Yeah.
And it's not just a random thing. There's a story reason behind it, of course. But yeah, if you were looking for an X-Men to jump on, this is one of those jumping on points.
We also have reprints of Batman number 2 and 3.
Yep.
So we now have Batman issues 2, 3, 5, and 6.
Yep.
We're missing 4. Number 1 will get reprinted next week. At some point, hopefully, we'll have all of it. But
we're doing what we can.
If you missed some of the early ones, we do have them. There are cardstock variants on both of them. We got Batman Static Beyond number 1 new printing. That number 3 comes out this week. We still have number 2, so you can jump on and get all of that.
Yep.
We got Event Horizon number 1 new printing, and we have the 5th issue of that this week. And we have 2, 3, and 4 on the shelf. So if you want a riff on the horror movie, the prequel to the horror movie Event Horizon, we now have all of that. And then we have the DC and Marvel present Superman and Spider-Man Facsimile Edition. This is the big oversized comic.
Yeah, that treasury format of what had been the second the crossover back in the day.
Previously, we got the facsimile of Spider-Man, Superman. This is the other one.
Yep. These are both kind of nice, really nice lead-ins with some great artwork from the era, from like the 70s or 80s. That will kind of thematically lead into the new Superman, Spider-Man crossovers coming up.
Absolute Batman, as we mentioned, gets its Volume 2 hardcover and softcover.
This is the Bane arc.
Yep, right. Absolute Power, which has nothing to do with the Absolute line.
True.
But was the sort of setup for Justice League Unlimited. This was the miniseries Mark Waid wrote where Amanda Waller took everybody's powers away.
Yep. What a jerk.
And then Batman White Knight gets a compact edition.
Oh, yeah. That's Sean Murphy.
Sean Murphy,
yep. His basically, if you forget what the hook is, this is an alternate world where essentially the Joker is kind of cured of his insanity, and simultaneously the Batman has like descended into madness.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it reverses their roles.
And then the Omnibus of March, John Lewis's story of his
Marching with MLK.
Yep. This is the Omnibus version, which has all 3 books in one big trade.
One of those great educational comics.
Yep. All right, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and talk about some trailers and some news. All right, we have some trailers to talk about, a couple of really terrible ones, and then a couple of really weird ones.
Yeah.
Let's start with the terrible ones.
Okay.
We sometimes we have more time. Although as I look at the timing, we do not have more time as I thought that we did this week. But we watched Jason Statham has a new action movie out.
Shelter.
It's called Shelter. It looks like the most generic, written by AI crap I've ever seen.
You know, it's funny. I watched this thing, and you already know I've been kind of over like Hitman stories for a while.
It starts with the first line.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, he was the best of the best, but he went into retirement and blah blah blah." And we're like, "The story we've seen a million times." But what's funny is, whenever I would I think because I watch it once, like it throws the trailers at me like on social media and stuff like that. Whenever I look at the comments, people are excited for this.
What?
They're like, Statham doing his thing. Whenever Statham's there, I'm there.
I actually know people like that. It's like, they just want, this is more of the same.
Yeah. Right.
It's comfort food.
Right. Which I guess in this time these days I can't really begrudge people their comfort food, but.
I mean, Beekeeper was one of his last, or not. I'm sure he's made like 6 others.
I had a ton of fun with Beekeeper, but it
was
was dumb.
It was very dumb, but it was very entertaining. This looks very dumb. To me, it does not look entertaining.
Dumber, yeah.
It looks like it's all made up from cliches.
Yeah.
He's living on some isolated island, and there's this like teenage girl who
delivers food and supplies. And occasionally asks him a question, and he's real gruff with her. Only But it turns out he's got a heart of gold.
He's got a heart of gold, and when some people kind of come to try and take him out, and she's nearby and could get killed, he's got to go protect her and get off the island and kill all the people.
Yeah.
And there's lots of things like, we've lost contact with the whole team, and, and him going like, she's just a kid, she didn't have any part of this.
Yep.
And,
It did not look like there was any redeeming.
I will leave this for the people for whom it is comfort food and avoid it like the plague.
Then we saw the trailer for Stranger Things Tales from 85, the animated prequel sequel.
Yeah, kind of. It's like, I think they said set between seasons 2 and 3 or something like that.
Clearly they're like, I wish we'd had more time to do the kids as kids.
Yeah.
So what they've done is an animated series where the animated characters don't age.
Right.
And also they don't sound alike because they don't have any of the original cast voicing them.
I actually, when I saw the trailers for this or the earliest snippets, I thought that they were going to have all of the voice casting.
Yep.
Like, I thought it was going to be that. And I was at least open to the idea. Kids on Bikes Adventures sounds fun.
Sure.
But this did not fill me with much confidence.
Yeah, it's a bad trailer.
It kind of looks like samey type monster stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's another, like, something got through from the Upside Down. It's mutating. It did look kind of fun. Like, it was like some bonded with some pumpkin and some pumpkin patch, so it's going to probably look like some kind of weird Jack Skellington Upside Down monster.
Yeah.
But the character stuff, all was pretty generic.
It just looked like Netflix was like, oh, well, we can't not have a Stranger Things anymore.
There's got to be at least something.
Oh, you have an idea? Okay, we'll do it.
We're doing it.
Sounds fine. It's fine. It'll work. And that's what it is. It feels just kind of there.
Yeah.
And
the animation looks okay. It looks like, kind of like early Clone Wars stuff. But
it looks boring. I'm not going to make
it. does, yeah.
But the other two we saw, very interesting, very weird.
There's some weird fun stuff in here.
HBO Max has a new show coming up on May 1st? March 1st? March 1st.
March 1st.
Called DTF St. Louis.
Yep.
Which is it's got David Harbour.
Yep.
It's got Jason Bateman. And
Linda
Cardellini. And it appears to be she's married to Harbour's character and maybe is having an affair or an emotional affair with Jason Bateman's character. They're in the suburbs of Missouri.
Yep.
And there's this app called DTF St. Louis where you can find women to cheat with.
Yep.
And David Harbour turns up dead. So there's this mystery of what happened. Was it related to this app? the person who's the special investigator is someone else too.
It's Richard Jenkins is playing her partner, and then I forget, is it Joy Sunday?
I think so. She was in Agatha all along, right? Is that who?
Yes, I believe she was.
But they're investigating, so they're going to turn into this weird, like, some kind of sex murder thing going on.
It looked like, and I would say, like, kind of a darkly comedic.
Yeah, it's definitely dark.
It's very dark. I was trying to look up who...
Mystery.
Yeah.
I was trying to look up the creator and director, Steve Conrad.
Yeah.
It's
not anything you necessarily recognize.
He did that Julia Roberts movie, Wonder.
Okay.
Secret Lives of Walter Mitty, which was...
interesting. He's done a show called Patriot for 3 years.
I don't recognize that one.
I don't know any of his other stuff. But curious to see. It's an interesting, weird trailer. And a good cast. I will...
Yeah, I mean, HBO, there's at least a benchmark for their stuff. They don't typically do bad shows.
For sure.
And Jason Bateman is always playing Jason Bateman, it seems.
Yep.
But what was his dark show on Netflix? It was...
Oh, God. I blanked it out of my
Was
head.
he the dad in the Shyamalan movie, too?
In the Shyamalan movie?
What was Shyamalan's daughter directed it?
I don't know. He was the bad guy in that Christmas movie I hated with Taron Egerton.
Oh, you hated? I liked that one. I thought that was fun enough.
I guess hate is strong. I thought it was not a great movie.
Yeah. What was the movie with the pop star where somebody at the concert was the killer?
No, that's not him.
Was that not him?
No, that's not him.
Oh, okay.
He was the show thing of Nick is Ozark.
Which I could never get into, but
me neither. It's kind of boring, but it's dark. But also, he's the fox in Zootopia.
Yes.
Anyway, I like Jason Bateman. Him and David Harbour are going to be interesting together.
Linda Cardellini is great.
Yeah, I'm going to check this out.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
And even weirder, Boots Riley, who did Sorry to Bother You.
Yep.
Boots Riley is an avowed communist, right?
Right. Yeah, he's like at the bare bones, I think you'd say he's like he's a workers' rights kind of guy.
Yep. He is lead vocalist of The Coup.
Yeah, The Coup.
And is a rapper and songwriter, but he also has become a writer.
You might know him from such tracks as We Got the Guillotine.
He's become a writer and director. He did Sorry to Bother You, which is a very strange movie about code switching and working at telemarketing. He did the movie I'm a Virgo, which is a weird superhero movie, which I watched.
I did not watch that
Also
one.
very odd. This is his third weird movie.
Yep.
This one's called I Love Boosters. Boosters being people who shoplift and steal.
Yep, to like resell.
And specifically in fashion, they steal from boutiques and then resell.
There's a sort of a girl
them.
gang who's doing it in this. And it seems like, part of the thing will be this kind of quirky mix of characters. There's it seems like some lady who owns like a chain of stores who's like arrayed herself as like their arch enemy.
And Demi Moore is playing that character.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah, it was Demi Moore. She's on a kick of doing kind of indie
she's having fun with that.
breakout moments, which I love.
It also had the cast was great.
I mean, it's Keke Palmer is the main.
Keke Palmer, but also
Lakeith Stanfield.
Yes.
Will Poulter.
I thought this was a pretty fun trailer.
It is a good trailer.
Don Cheadle.
Oh yeah, Don Cheadle. Did he have like crazy long hair? He looked like some 70s guy with Conan the Barbarian hair.
Also, Naomi Ackie, who was in Blink Twice.
Yep.
And Thursday Murder Club. I like her quite a bit too. And Isa Gonzalez, who I always like.
Where do I know her from? Oh, Baby Driver. I care a lot.
But also she was in something else. Oh, she's in Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. Ministry of Unjumbly Warfare and Three Body Problems.
Okay, that's where I...
Yeah. And she's really good. I always like her. Poppy Lou, who I've seen in various things. It's a great cast. It's got... The trailer looks amazing. There's some great, like monocolor scenes.
I'm going to say this probably is not going to be forever. Boots Riley is a very odd
It's very weird. But... I like this trailer. I definitely want to see this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I will watch it. I'm curious to go back and watching his superhero version.
It's not bad. It's just like Sorry to Bother You. It's weird, and I don't think it's great, but it's different and unique, and I'll give it a lot
Kind
of
of
credit.
ambitious, yeah.
I like when directors are at least taking a swing or being ambitious.
They always take a swing.
He's not going to make the next Jason Statham.
No, that is correct.
I was gonna say that feels like the slowest softball thing that Statham could do.
There's always those hipster people who are like, I saw Sixth Sense, I saw the twist coming a mile away. If you go to see Sorry to Bother You, and you tell me at the end, oh, I thought that's how it was going to end, you're full of shit.
Yeah, you're 100%.
That is a twist no one could see coming.
There's no way you could. I would sooner believe that somebody knew that Dusk Till Dawn was just randomly, the first time it appeared, that it was going to be vampires.
Two big announcements for Prime Video shows. Not much to say on this, are just kind of interesting things. Lore Olympus is getting an animated series.
Right, that's of course, the webcomic that's become a very popular graphic novel series, collecting it, which we carry. That's sort of about the kind of like the Greek gods, like as nightlife.
Well, the big thing is
Persephone?
it's the romantic reimagining of Hades and Persephone.
Yeah. But it is like an ensemble thing with sort of backstabbing and bed hopping gods and things like that. It's kind of like almost, if you imagine Olympus is like some mega like nighttime city and club district and stuff like that.
If it's Vegas.
And the Jim Henson Company is involved in it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. And it says showrunner is Julia.
It's going to be animated, right?
Yes. Yeah.
No, Dave, all puppets.
I mean, that's what Henson generally does. I'm not used to them doing animation.
And the showrunner is Julia Cooperman, who did the Willow reboot, which is not great.
Although I know some people who adored it.
It's just you can never find it because they took it off and said goodbye to it.
And then a show called Colony that was about a family in the post-alien invasion world.
Oh, I remember that. And that one had the guy from Lost, Sawyer.
Okay.
Also did The Winchesters, which was the prequel to Supernatural, which is actually kind of fun. I watched a couple episodes of that. And an animated show called Pantheon that is about sort of a conspiracy spy thing, it looks like.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then Kumail Nanjiani, his wife Emily Gordon, and Si Chun, who I don't know who that is. He worked on Gremlins Secrets of the Mogwai, which I guess is this Gremlins Secrets.
It was the animated one
Animated
that they
series?
did
Okay.
not too long ago.
Kumail Nanjiani is set for an acting role, which he's got to be playing the lead character, right?
I would imagine.
They are adapting Sex Criminals, the Chip Zdarsky, Matt Fraction book, which basically is a normal girl who, when she has sex, stops time, and then she meets a guy who has the same gift, and they start robbing banks.
Yep.
And it goes from there.
I don't think I ever finished this book, so I don't know if it had a good ending.
It did. I actually did finish it. I went back to it.
I think
it was a good book.
Kumail Nanjiani and Emily Gordon will.
They're the ones bring
I feel like a good fit
bring
for
it to life.
It was, I remember like touching on topics like sort of mental health and depression and things like that.
Well, and the sex spectrum of like from Ace all the way to kink and like all that kind of stuff. It's a kind of a weird book for a mainstream thing like Amazon Prime to do. But they've gone pretty dark with like The Boys and that kind of thing. So
I was gonna say, Boys is not shying away from sex or violence.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm kind of curious to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm interested.
All right, so we don't quite have time to talk about it all anyway, and Nick has not seen it yet. But let's talk about the first episode of Wonder Man, and then we'll come back next week and talk about more of it.
Okay.
Right.
I will try to watch, if not finish.
You'll probably finish.
Because they're 30-minute episodes.
It's more likely you'll finish than Dave will finish.
It's very breezy.
I bet Dave will finish.
I probably will finish.
We'll see. I just say, but when it comes to TV watching speeds,
I think
Nick has a superpower.
We're a rare table here that we all like Wonder Man.
I think everybody likes Wonder Man.
I don't think some people know who Wonder Man is.
No, but I mean, like, people who are watching.
Oh, yeah, the show itself, but I'm talking about just the character in general.
Yes, you're right. I see what you're saying. Yes, we are all Wonder Man fans.
Yes.
Right.
In fact, I believe, Dave, he's one of your favorite characters.
Yeah. He's like, admittedly, he's a character who the writers have changed a lot over times, and he can vary depending on who's writing him. But as a core concept, even back in the 70s and 80s when I'm starting to read, the interesting thing that this guy who's like is basically on the level of Thor, but kind of usually is depicted as either kind of having a little bit of imposter syndrome, or he likes doing superhero stuff, but he'd rather be an actor.
Right.
And who was also kind of known for being kind of like his bromance with the Beast. They were like best buds.
Yep.
Those were all kind of interesting things that set him apart and just made him not the usual dude. And I knew that the show was not going to closely follow that. It looked more like it was going to be like sort of an inside Hollywood sort of thing that was a little bit meta about sort of superhero movie fatigue stuff, which actually isn't that big a thing in it.
No.
But as it turns out, that what they were doing, it is considerably more ambitious than I expected. And I really, really like it.
Well, the first episode just introduces us to Simon Williams,
Yes.
who played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen,
Yep.
who is phenomenal.
Right,
He is
yeah.
great in every role he has been in.
Yeah.
He's a struggling actor who, when the show begins, has landed a pretty solid role in like a small but solid role in American Horror Story.
Yep.
But also, they talk about he's been on other shows.
Yeah, he's been in
He's
a
one of
few
these
other
like
things.
working actors who's been like not background actor. He has like one or two lines or a part, but clearly he's always a guest star, never broken out.
But his process gets in his way.
He is such a like method guy.
He could be doing a bit character, and he does do this, and he wants to know their motivation, and he'll even like kind of argue with the director about a choice because he's like, I don't think my guy would do this.
Yeah, and we see him
self-sabotages.
We see him basically talk himself out of a role.
Yeah, it is a difficult scene to watch, actually.
It is.
Because you can all see, we know what's coming. Like, he can't shut up and just take, like, the director's being very kind about it.
Yeah.
And is like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. But after like the fifth or sixth thing, when he calls the writer to set and fucks up the entire day,
Yep.
you're like, oh man, this guy is a liability.
Yeah.
Yep. So I remember reading this interview years and years ago about really the comic book of The Rocketeer.
Yeah.
And Dave Stevens, the writer artist, said of Cliff, whatever the main
Secord.
character is, Cliff Secord, he said that he doesn't. There's not really like kind of an arch villain to the piece. That Cliff is his own foil.
Yep.
He's kind of a goof up who kind of screws up his own thing. And this is like a kind of a more witty and nuanced version of that. Like this Simon Williams is his own foil.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is clearly going to be his arc, but it's kind of unpredictable. And so, go ahead.
One thing I think is interesting is like you and I talked about this off mic a little bit. That Wonder Man, the core of Simon Williams, like you said, they've changed him a lot. They keep, they tried a pacifism thing.
Right.
They've done different stories. But the core of him has always been that he's a little underconfident, despite being very powerful.
Right.
That he has some self-esteem issues.
Right.
And they definitely nailed that
and
down.
doesn't usually isn't where he wants to be in life.
Yeah.
Well, and the big kind of thing for this is they are remaking the character of Wonder Man by an avant-garde art
I love that we
director.
got the ugly green costume as like the throwback of a fictional Wonder Man.
In this story, Wonder Man that they describe as a character that's known is like kind of a campy 70s action sci-fi
It's
hero.
like kind of Buck Rogers-y.
Yeah. It looked like the 70s or like
He has the jetpack.
Buck
He's got
Rogers
the-
show. He's not like a superhero per se, but
like-
it was one that he watched as a kid, and in this kind of sweet scene, you see him watching it with his dad.
His
I
dad,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think the dad's kind of like watching it, and it's like kind of looks a little cheesy and campy to him, but he looks over, and Simon's face is just lit up.
Enraptured, yeah.
And so you cut to him as a sophisticated adult with a failing relationship, flagging job, and stuff like this. And this show, he hears about it, and he wants in, even though it's like already like closed casting or whatever.
Yeah.
It's on the final day of casting.
Does he hear about it
casting.
from Trevor? Or does he meet Trevor at the audition?
No, he meets Trevor at a screening of Midnight Cowboy.
Right. So which is interesting. This is very deep Hollywood in the same way like Get Shorty and some of those were like he loves
It's a love
old
letter.
movies and it's about
They
acting
name
and that
drop
kind of
old
thing.
movies.
Yeah.
They quote famous movies and Shakespeare and other stuff like that.
He runs into Trevor Slattery, aka the Mandarin,
yes.
at a movie theater. And the two of them get to
Ben
talk-
Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley.
The venerable actor.
They get to talking, and Trevor basically lets slip about the Wonder Man thing, and he talks his way into an audition.
Right.
And it seems like the two of them may like wind
kinda
up
hit it
working
off.
together. Yeah, they
Yeah.
become like sort of scene partners.
There's an ulterior motive, it seems.
There is, yeah. I wasn't sure if that was in the first episode.
It is. It's
I
very
think
end.
it's the reveal, and I think we can probably say it.
Yeah, it's in the
because
trailers.
it's kind of part of the hook, which is Trevor gets like a call at the end, and we've at this point we've seen him, and we find like, oh, he's kind of a likable weird old dude who
he had serious like drug issues. Like
yeah,
this
he was trying to like pay off his debts and and pay for drugs and stuff. When
He keeps telling people, "Oh, you know me as a terrorist."
Yes, yeah. I mean, this is his biggest role he's ever had.
what was that in Iron Man?
That was Iron Man 3.
Iron
You know
Man
what?
3.
You know what I kind of love about this? That this is something they do in the movies and the TV is sometimes they'll rescue a thing that didn't quite work.
Right.
and in so doing it, they make the other thing better. This makes Iron Man 3 better. Everything I do with Trevor, was in Shang-Chi, and then to here, they're making that thing I didn't really like from Iron Man 3 something I like a little bit better.
I agree completely. It's this was most everybody at the time was like, oh, we wanted the real Mandarin.
Yeah.
And he did actually sound scary and stuff like that in the trailers. And to find out, it's just like the kind of like a like a goof.
Yeah.
That he was just some actor
got kidnapped by the real
the
Mandarin.
actual Mandarin. Yeah.
Right. And now we have him trying to get his life back on track. He's like 15 years or 13 years sober or something like that.
Right.
But you find out at the end of the episode that apparently, in a flashback, you see he was. Maybe you find out more about this later. Somebody outside this has him spying on Simon Williams.
Well, we know who it is. It's the Department of Damage Control,
right?
Which is the new SHIELD. Essentially, they're the ones that Tony Stark set up. They're the ones that caused the Vulture.
Yep.
In Spider-Man: Homecoming.
And we don't know at least in the first episode that you've seen, Nick. You don't know details yet,
right?
But it seems like their meetings are not just lucky coincidences, but that Trevor specifically is kind of meant to.
And they have alluded with various little things that Simon does have powers.
Yes, Simon has powers, and we'll find out why that's a problem as it goes on.
And I don't know yet if Simon knows he has powers.
They'll get around to
find
that.
out.
Yeah, I figure I will.
So Dave has watched up through episode 4 and is really enjoying it. Episode 4 is a notable episode, by the way.
Yep.
I watched all 8 in the first day, and it's a really good story. My only gripe is this ain't Wonder Man. Like, his powers are very different in the same way that, like, Moon Knight and Miss Marvel were changed for the MCU.
Yeah.
But I think we're both very well done.
But it's the same thing. It's very well done. The core of the character is still there, even though it's very changed.
Yeah.
But
this is not about like a sort of a guy who's like a reluctant two-fisted adventurer.
No,
it is a story about like a struggling actor, but it's also like it's a sort of tragicomic buddy story.
Yeah.
There's some very interesting stuff with like his family.
Yep.
Which I would not have expected to be as big a thing as it is.
They totally revamped his backstory, and the thing is, while I love Simon Williams in the comics, and I really would love to see a version of him on the screen. This version is more consistent and has all the benefits of having hindsight, of having seen him go through various things. And so this version of him is a good baseline for Wonder Man going forward.
Yeah.
My only worry is that the TV stuff is not always flowed smoothly into the movie stuff.
Yeah.
And I hope they don't forget him.
Right.
I hope that he shows up in Doomsday or something.
Yeah, I hope a lot of the stuff, the newer like TV stuff, doesn't just get thrown to the wayside.
Because I want to quick mention there's a few. It's not like so heavy-handed that it's like clunky, but there's a number of celebrity cameos in there.
Yes, there are,
and it cannot help but remind me of like some of the like it doesn't always come in like. You know when people were on what was Ricky Gervais' show, Extras, and stuff like that. There's some hilarious scenes with like Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart in those, like really amazing scenes. And it's actually a little bit more subtle in this. People are kind of playing a little bit more themselves, but they are there is a little twist that is for almost everyone who shows, and it ends up being like I love their uses of these actors.
I do want to say weirdly, this is like. Wonder Man is great if you liked Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, but also if you really liked what was the recent show, Nick, with Seth Rogen, The Studio.
The Studio.
If you love The Studio, you're gonna like Wonder Man.
I have a friend on social media, and she doesn't really do superhero movies.
Yeah,
she must have just tried it for whatever reason, and she loves it.
Yeah,
I think it's also going to be one that would get the average audience person.
And it has. Most critics really like it. It's gotten good reviews.
The review is the writing. I couldn't quite tell from the first episode. I kind of had to see a little bit more of it, and they are only like 30-minute episodes.
Yeah.
But actually, the writing is very good on it.
Yeah, it's not just goofball. It is. No. It has a depth to it.
The trailers made it look goofball to me. Like they kind of showed him kind of doing silly process stuff and trying out weird voices and no.
This was created by Dustin Cretton.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the showrunner or somebody else is, but yes,
he
did Shang-Chi, and he's doing the next Spider-Man.
It's interesting because I like Shang-Chi, but this is a different beast.
It is, but it's a through line. You can see the.
But his partner in writing it is Andrew Guest, who has been on countless sitcoms. He wrote for Community, he wrote for Suburgatory, he wrote for Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
All of which, by the way, sitcoms that have more depth.
Yeah. That sort of fits the pattern.
This is not a comedy, really. I don't think. I mean, it's a dramedy, if anything.
It is like, and the more you see it, the more you get it.
Yeah.
One of our former staffers, Chris, who used to work here, said something. I posted about it on Facebook,
yeah.
And like every person who's responded is like, "Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love it." And he said, I have a hard time telling people why it's so good.
Yeah.
And it is like, if I had just seen the trailers or hadn't actually kind of watched it, I think I would have been like, well, this looks like something I can take or leave.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad I'm watching it. I'm definitely gonna see through to the end.
Yeah, I really liked it. I'm a little wary that they've turned away from Marvel TV. They feel like they felt like that was a failure or something, because they've produced a lot of good shows on there.
Yeah, they have.
And I really don't want that all to go away. I like little side projects like this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do think, even though this is a very different take on Wonder Man, if they were to, in Doomsday, have him show up and do something with Beast, because like with an X-Men thing, I'd love it.
Yeah,
I'd freak out.
Yeah, same.
But as it looks like, at the very least, it's going to be a great standalone project.
Yeah, for sure.
Nick, I'll be curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to probably watch it this week. So
yeah. All right, that will wrap it up for us this time. We'll be back next week with more. Until that time, yo Joe.
Roguecast is a weekly podcast broadcast from Rogues Gallery Comics and Games in Round Rock, Texas. You can find us online on Facebook and at www.roguesgallerytx.com, and email us comments or questions at roguesgallerytx@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.